Good, how are you?
Doing great, doing great. Now, where are you from?
Florida.
Florida. Is this your first time in Wisconsin?
No, I was here a few years ago for another convention, but this is my first time in Milwaukee.
Oh, Milwaukee? Okay, so how are you liking it so far?
Pretty good. I was like, there's a lot of good cheese things here, so...
You a big cheese person?
I'm pretty sold on anything food, so...
Well, because I mean, Florida, you got, you know, a lot of...
I'm not really known for anything food, I don't think.
Really?
Maybe.
I was going to say gator, but
I was just going to say some gator.
That might be New Orleans.
That's fair, gator tail, but I feel like Louisiana does it better than Florida does. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So now, have you tried any traditional food here yet, or no?
I got cheese curds.
Cheese curds?
It's pretty great.
Solid.
And I like mac and cheese, so.
Oh, okay.
Plenty mac and cheese.
Yeah, I was like, just mac and cheese everywhere.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your cosplay today.
So this is Valentino from Husband Hotel. It's like a new Amazon series. So this character is the like resident pimp of the show. That's what he does. He's actually a villain, but he's like flamboyant. So I was like, why not?
Right. What's that?
Husband Hotel. It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
I see that.
Because you might have.
Right now, it's everywhere. Right now.
It is everywhere.
So, when you're choosing your cosplay, are you going more showboaty, or like, I guess, what is your process of picking who you're going to cosplay?
So it ranges, like whether I like am really passionate about a character, or if because I have a cosplay partner, if they're doing a character that coincides with this character, or if it's just a character that I'm like, that would be really cool to see made. This one's more of it was to match the cosplay partner's character because they're doing the like TV demon thing, and then so they're like part of the V's, which is like a group in the show.
And now is this something that you put together, or something?
Yeah, I sewed it completely.
How long was your process?
2 days.
Oh.
Before this con.
You're not new to this.
You're right.
I was like, I've been doing this for a really long time.
So what's a long time? How long have you been doing it?
Next year will be 10 years.
Okay.
Thank you. Mid-decade.
What was your first cosplay?
My first cosplay was, you know those little sexy Iron Man cheerleaders? Yeah, that was it.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never know what cons were, but I had seen them and I was like, that seems easy, I could do that. I needed something not out of my realm of capability.
Okay, yeah. And then, so how was the reception? Like, did you get like how the stuff that you get now?
So it was like a family-friendly convention, so the reception wasn't super great.
We talking about 10 years ago too? Yeah.
They weren't really receptive of that one, so I progressively moved towards more clothed characters.
And then, do you have a count? Like, how many characters have you cosplayed so far? Do you know?
Characters, like over 200.
Wow.
At least.
How many do you actually do what would you say average per year?
Per year, probably like 4 or 5 a month.
Wow.
Around then.
Because you're not just doing them just for cons, you're doing them for other content.
Yeah, so we make, me specifically, I make them for companies, so like Honkai or Genshin, they'll hire cosplayers and they'll make like short form videos to promote their games and things like that. I do a lot of that specifically, and then you'll have other games like Final Fantasy and they'll do the same kind of process. So you're making cosplays for work kind of related things, then you're making cosplays for friend kind of things, but then you're also making cosplays for content.
Oh, okay, that makes 100% sense. So, all right, so now let's get into the nitty gritty of it. All right, so when you are doing your cosplays, let's start off with this. What is the least favorite part about cosplay for you?
Probably wig styling. It takes me an obscene amount of time to wig style, like 12 to 13 hours.
Yeah, he's trying to get him a Choji wig.
It didn't go so hot at first.
It's rough. I was like, there's people and they're just gluing fibers and it looks fantastic. I do not have that ability. I'm working with just the wig and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. That is not a skill set that I was innately born with.
So then what's your favorite part about cosplay?
Sewing. I'm very good at sewing.
Now you've been doing that since a kid, or?
So I've been sewing since probably about 2004 or 5, and it was just like making plushes at first, and then it's evolved to the cosplay. So I had the like the general, like, you know, the basics, like what you needed to do to sew something, and it was just transferring that to apparel, which wasn't as hard as, say, like learning how to like build props from the foam and the things like that, and using like different materials and utilities to make things that they weren't necessarily made to make.
Okay, so now, so you said over 200 cosplays, so obviously you gotta have some favorites, you gotta have some least favorites, but I wanna know, not just your favorite, what was that one cosplay that you did that you felt like, you know what, I'm really the shit right now?
I made an entire screen accurate Loki.
Ooh.
Wow.
Start to finish with all of the armor and like the King version. You know, the one that he comes through with like the giant draping cape, and then he's got the shoulder armor, and then there's armor everywhere. Yeah, it's completely screen accurate.
Wow, and how long did that take?
6 months. See, that was not a 2-day one. That was. So every edge of that costume has an individually clamped on zipper teeth.
Okay.
So you had to one by one.
Also, it's more of a piece together.
So like, you know how zipper teeth look?
Yeah.
His costume, the designers, what they did was individually crimp one onto the whole line. So any seam on that costume has an individually crimped zipper tooth.
Wow.
That sounds like it would have took 6 months.
Yeah.
Doing that.
It took like 2 straight weeks of crimping.
So going, the way you sound like 2 straight weeks of pimping. But you talking about the
Cosplay.
Right. Listen, I want to let you know, with this cosplay that you got on, and then obviously the teeth, I don't know if that's how you originally talk or not, but it fits so much.
It works.
It's just
real smooth.
You're
Right
so smooth right now. Like, I don't even know how to feel right now.
I feel like I talk better without the teeth, but the teeth are impeding it, but it works. It works for the character.
It does work with the cosplay. So when you have a job that takes that type of commitment, and everything, like, I guess, what inspired you to take on that, knowing that it was going to be that complex?
So initially it was like I started cosplay, enjoyed cosplay, and then I was like, I don't enjoy doing a hobby that doesn't pay for itself. So how do I make this pay for itself? And that was the general idea of like to take something I enjoy doing and make it make money, so you're not at a deficit of income while you're enjoying yourself. And that was the main goal. I was like, my goal was to take something I loved and make it make money so I could do it for a longer period of time.
Oh, nice. So I always wondered now, because like, you know, I feel like there's levels of cosplay. You know, you have people who do it just for the love, and then you have people who do it and it turns into, like you said, a business, something that can, you know, help sustain your lifestyle. Where do you hope to take this to? Like, what is your goal with this?
I think I've reached a pretty high point of it, because at this point I'm doing everything I wanted to do initially, or I'm working with companies. I think the only thing I could possibly do is start making like patterns, things like that, things that would help other cosplayers improve their own craft in a way that like benefits them. So it makes it easier for them to do what I'm doing, so they can do it easily and they can have the same kind of like, I guess, outcome. So if they want to start doing costumes and they want to start making things and make a business out of it, giving them essentially what the means to the end, like a means to do that themselves.
And then you got to be a good feeling to inspire other cosplayers, you know,
Yeah.
having that moment where they're seeing what you're doing, aspiring to be what you're doing, and just even grabbing inspiration from the stuff that you do. Tell me about like so let's talk about this kind interactions with this kind. What are you like? Are people having like an amazing response to it? Like, I guess, how do you judge the success of a cosplay? In those type of situations.
I was like, so this con's been fantastic. All the reception's been great. People who haven't been able to see me before are great. People who initially started following me right before COVID, so they've never had the option, because prior to COVID, like, I had guested up here, but people were stuck at home, so cosplay became a way larger thing than it was prior to COVID. So they got to know my cosplay, they got really excited, and this was the first chance for them to meet me, so it's been like overwhelmingly pleasant to actually meet everyone. It was
That's
fun.
super dope. I love that for you. So when I'm thinking about just like a cosplayer's journey as far as within this culture and everything, right? I feel like there got to be something that you also was like, okay, I haven't done that yet, but if I have the resources or everything that I can, I would love to do that. What would be the one cosplay that if you had unlimited resources, you had all the money in the world that you can do 100% accurate that you would do?
That one's hard. I've done most of the ones I want, but I do really want to make a giant articulating wing.
Oh.
It's like more of an aspect of a character, but I do Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, and I really want to do like his one wing, right? It would be so cool, and I want it to move.
You also want it functioning.
Yeah, so wings have always been like a kind of hardship for me because of the harness and everything, and it's a very complicated thing to do, especially if you're wearing a very form-fit coat, which he is, and also he's like open-chested, so you don't have a lot of area to hide a harness.
Right.
So that's basically where I want to go. Also, you have to think about counterweighting. I was like, when you have two wings, you don't have to counterweight a wing. When you have one wing, you have to counterweight it somehow. So you have to create a weight that's equivalent to this wing, but hide it without it being a wing.
That got to be a skill set of itself.
It is. I was like, I can't figure it out.
I'm a year and a half in doing cosplays, and I'm doing it very low level. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I never crossed my mind at all.
It's like when you start cosplaying, you start learning all of these weird skills that you don't really think you need. You start becoming an engineer, you're a seamstress, you're a wig stylist, like you're a barber, you're a makeup artist. It's all of these tasks that you have to learn how to do if you want to create one look.
Yep.
So it's a lot of different things. Like you become a jack of all trades just so you can portray a character you enjoy very well.
What was the most recent skill set that you learned that you didn't necessarily?
Bondo.
What is Bondo?
So if you're familiar with like 3D prints?
Yes, yes.
So the filament lines, if you rub car Bondo, you know, like the filler primer for cars, onto it, and then you sand it down, you don't have any lines and it's perfectly smooth.
How did you learn that? I'm sorry.
Wait. How did you learn that?
I'm sorry.
You listen, found some car?
Because it's genius. I'll give you like.
So it's kind of like a railway. So you start and you're like, all right, what fills lines? Filler primer, which is a spray paint, you know, that fills into sediment. And then you're like, you're doing it this way. And then another cosplayer lives on my block that I didn't know lived on my block. Was like, why don't you just use Bondo? And I'm like, what the fuck is Bondo? So you start going down this road and you're like, all right, now you gotta do these research, right? And you go to Walmart, it's $4 a tube, and you get it and you rub it on it and it just dries in 15 minutes and you sand it and it's perfect.
So really just a source was just like try Bondo?
It was just a source, just try Bondo. And you're like, what? It's just these one things, but that's what cosplay community needs to be, is like no gatekeeping, no like weird hoity-toity behavior. You have something that's going to make something easier for someone to do, just tell them. Yeah. Like, what are you gaining from gatekeeping your Bondo? Like, nothing. So, I was like, I enjoy that.
You know, like, you know, they always say, like, the rapper Drake, he dropped bars, that's always the Instagram caption.
Yeah.
That's the title of this video. Title of this video. Why are you gatekeeping your Bondo?
But yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. And I was like, and I think that's what the community should be, is you should be learning skills and sharing them with other people and creating like a more positive community, not negative, not toxic. I was like, we don't have time for that.
Yeah,
I
was
like, the world's on fire. You don't need to make another fire within the nerd community. It doesn't need to happen.
So I got 3 cosplays, right? And storing them is crazy for me. 200 plus cosplays.
Yeah, you need
a storage unit. How do you store this?
You don't have a garage, you have a storage unit. And you know those big 50-gallon tubs from Home Depot? You got like 20 of them.
Oh, you don't have any of them like on display? You don't have like a mannequin on?
So Loki's on mannequin.
Okay.
He's on a mannequin. Batman's on a mannequin.
Which Batman did you do?
Dark Knight.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's on a mannequin. That's all we have on a mannequin right now. And then work in progresses are always on a mannequin until they're done, and then they're put away. I was like, most of them you can be put away pretty safely with like bubble wrap and you know, chiffon and everything. Because like I have like a full kaiba and he's like a circle skirt and everything, and like the pointed shoulders. So those kind of costumes have to be delicately put away. Or Aranea from Final Fantasy 15, that's full armor that has to be carefully put away because like the paint can't touch for long periods of time. So it is like precarious to put it away, and you do need a lot of room. Additionally, if you have supplies like bulk fabrics or things like that, you're going to need room for that. Yeah. I was like, it becomes bigger very quick.
Very quick. I can only imagine. So are you, before I ask, because I know, are you a person who waits to reveal their cosplay at the cons, or do you show your process?
Oh, show the process.
So it leads me to my question: what are you working on
right now? So right now we're in has-been help. So we're basically making a bunch. So in the last 2 weeks, I've made 4 different has-been costumes. This was just one that I threw together, but we're working on Alistair. Okay. He is like the more popular character from the series, but I made Angel Dust, and we're working on Lucifer as well. Outside of has-been, I'm also working on a contract character for Honkai. I can't say the character, but that's going to be more of like a business part of like the contract things. And then for content creation, I'm making Jinshi from Apothecary Diaries, and I'm also going to make Shell from Sugar Apple Fairy Tale.
Oh man, that was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, so that's the current work in progress pile.
that is amazing. And you keep on saying we. So how many people's part of your team?
Oh, it's just me and my partner.
Oh, okay. You made it sound like it was such a big thing.
But those
cosplays. Yeah, you throw out 6 cosplays.
Yeah, I say we, but I make those by myself because they also have 6 costumes to make by themselves. So it's like we work together more to motivate each other, not to like work on the same characters. But if she needs something finished, like with Bondo, I'll do that myself.
So you Bondo.
Yeah, it was. I learned it like 2 weeks ago, and then I've Bondoed everything. a new skill that I plan to abuse deeply.
Skill acquired. No, okay. So, any advice for just new starting cosplayers? You know, I always like to get that perspective from somebody. YouTube is the most underrated resource on the planet. You will find 20 to 30 videos of anything you need to know how to do and how not to do it. So don't watch one video. Don't look like how to sew this seam. Don't look up one. Watch 3, because there's going to be multiple ways for you to do it, and some of them are going to be more attuned to how you work and how you process things. It's like how you do a math problem. Not everyone's going to do it the same way, but you can come out to the same outcome. I was like, so watch a few YouTube videos on anything you want to do, whether it's spiking, wigs. People have done everything you want to do and failed at it many times. So if you want to know how to do it without dealing with a failure, you're going to use less materials, you're going to use less time to just watch a few videos and then figure out a good starting basis rather than just kind of going in blind. That's very nice, yeah.
I had do you have a cosplay that you would say defeated you? Like you got, like, I'm not going to finish this, I'm just done with it.
Defeated me. I don't know if I've never not finished a costume.
Flags on them.
I am not new to this. I'm
see this?
I got to follow up.
Let's see. I never made the wings for Hawks. I made baby wings, but never the big ones.
Oh.
So that could be the wing thing again.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense because you definitely that's your biggest villain. Sounds like, right?
Yeah, the
wings are my villain.
You need somebody to come over and say, why don't you just use such and such?
I need a lightweight option.
So, all right. So, 2 years in a row, I cosplayed as Deathstroke.
Yes. 2
years in a row, my Deathstroke mask, ceramic mask, got cracked. Right? So, I call it, that's my Deathstroke fail. Now I got this knack for trying to hear cosplay fails. Can you tell me a cosplay fail story of yours? Where something went wrong and you was like,
Oh, you pretty much meaning like out too, like you're out.
Yeah, because the Deathstroke when he was at the convention.
I was at the convention.
And
it fell and broke. The first time it got broke because I didn't know about packing. And I just put it in my suitcase. And by the time it got to Texas, it was already cracked.
Oh no, damn. Alright, so Sephiroth's shoulder pieces, they're fully articulating and they're made of Sintra. which if you don't know what sinterite is, it's a very lightweight moldable plastic, but it is very delicate. And I made it have ball joints, like a bad. Do not do that. Do not do it. It sounds cool in theory. It moves cool, but if anyone bumps into that ball joint, it pops out and then it falls and then it breaks. So that is the nightmare costume to wear. It is a costume I refuse to wear to like larger conventions because everyone's bumping into you, and it's because the shoulder pieces are all articulating, and if anyone bumps into them, they go skittering across because they fall, they hit the ground, then someone kicks them off somewhere.
Yeah, no one paying attention.
And that's so I made that same report. I said, you know, if I do Deathstroke again, I'm never doing it anywhere. I gotta travel. I'm gonna do
Exactly.
it here. Because both times it happened in Texas. Like I said,
You just can't go to Texas.
Can't go to Texas with Deathstroke. Yeah.
No.
Got any more?
No, I think I was good.
Can you just tell the people where they can find you, where they can keep up with stuff like with your upcoming cosplays and all of that?
You can find me on basically any social media under AKRCos. It's AKRCos, and it's just my initials. But